All right, Tara, this case raises questions about claims of self-defense. Criminal defense attorney Randy Reep joins us this morning to talk more about this. All right, well, what is the stand your ground law, and how does it apply in this particular case, and how does it apply in general?
Well, those are multiple questions. I don't think the stand your law applies in this case. What it is kind of a follow-on to what was called castle doctrine. You're the king of your castle. You're allowed to protect your house from invasion, and you can use the force necessary to meet that. Florida sort of has led the trend a little bit in that, in expanding it to your vehicle, and then ultimately to this stand your ground. You have no obligation to retreat from a threat before you use force. If this standard is met, you may even use deadly force, which is how the stand your ground law has been.
It's just such a fine line here. In this particular case, it seems as, just an observation from the outside that George Zimmerman wasn't really standing his ground as much as going out and perhaps getting into a confrontation.
Frankly, that's what I think is becoming confusing. And the stand your ground law is good law, and it's really good law for a defense attorney in certain circumstances. It's being misapplied as it appears here. You're not allowed to go and find your way into harm's way, see that harm, and then go, oh, I was defending myself. If, in fact, Mr. Zimmerman was patrolling or following Mr. Martin and then starts a confrontation, he can't then later go, well, I was in fear for my life. There's a difference between no duty to retreat and the obligation or the right to be able to pursue somebody. Those are not the same thing.
Have you ever been involved in something like this, or a particular case in this manner where this law has been applied?
We have cases at my law firm, Law Officer Randy Reep. We do have a case pending right now where we're working with some stand your ground issues as a result of the law. It's a case where my client was trying to leave a confrontation and he was actually physically restrained to stay there.
So much different in this. It doesn't really apply to this one. What do you think is going to happen right now in this particular case?
The way I understand it playing out, it looks to me like the state attorney is handing it to the grand house like April 10th. Look, I see the same newscast that you guys are producing.
Yep.
Based on those set of facts, the grand jury is a very one-sided application of the state presenting their case. I have to believe there's going to be an indictment that would come out of that if what we're hearing is true. And that's always a dangerous thing for me to say from just hearing ancillary stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do we go from here? Should this law continue to be on the books?
Look, it's great law for you, because you're walking with your wife and child down the street and you're met with a threat. You don't have to gather up your stuff and decide to run. You get to defend yourself right there if you can reasonably articulate a fear that you have. And if you are in reasonable fear for your life, you can even use deadly force. That's good law for you, because it's maybe more dangerous to try to retreat in the scenario I've given with a child. Bad facts makes bad law is sort of a legal theory that goes through. These aren't the facts that apply to this law, and I think you're going to find that it's as much ado about nothing as it relates to stand your ground in this particular case.
All right, criminal defense attorney Randy Reep, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.